This is our presentation for entrepreneurship for the $100 startup. Our group was me, Owen, Braden, Lucas, and Dylan, and I'll be doing the presentation today. Mark Cuban once said about business, if you are not solving a real problem, you are wasting your time. So what was the problem we identified? Well, in our case, the problem was we saw that students at Trent University had a need for professional headshots, but they're often very inconvenient to get. They're often expensive. They often take a while to process, and because of that, they get overlooked until it's too late. A study from PhotoFeeler said that, quote, a professional headshot can increase the perceived trustworthiness of an individual by up to 76%. So they do make a big difference in the business world. That is where we come in. ProPix Peterborough professional headshots made simple. We do quality, affordable headshots that are delivered not in weeks, but in mere minutes from getting the photo actually taken. I did a sales pitch to the class, 2 sales pitches actually, and there was a lot of interest I saw. After that, I had a lot of students coming up to me and asking me, about pricing, asking me specific questions. So I knew there was some interest. I knew it was a good idea after the sales pitch, but we wanted to make money in the lead up to the actual market to get as much revenue in as possible. The first idea we had to do that was to pitch to local businesses. So do storefront photography, do product photography, charge a lower rate than the competition. We did some door-to-door downtown, and we found that there was not as much interest as we had anticipated. One business owner who had recently opened up literally said to us that we were the 3rd photographers that had come in that week pitching our services. So we knew the market was a little bit oversaturated, and we knew we needed to pivot. The next idea that we had to generate revenue was to set up stands on campus. I talked to the TCSA at Trent, and unfortunately, there's a lot of red tape involved. There was a $100 fee for every stand you set up, and there was a minimum 3 weeks approval time, which at the time was longer than we had. So we decided to pivot again and go all in on the final market. That was our only opportunity to make revenue. So we wanted to make the setup as streamlined as possible and make everything go as smoothly as possible. The final setup for the market was a iPhone 16 Pro on a tripod. So you get that great camera quality, lots of different settings, features you can use. And then we had it hooked up with my laptop through Dropbox. So you would literally click a button, hooked up to the tripod. It would take a picture with the phone, and then it would sync to Dropbox. It would automatically pop up on the computer screen, and then we could just quickly send it off to the student's email. The whole time from taking the picture to actually getting the email sent out was roughly 2 minutes. So it was a very quick turnaround, which I think the convenience factor was a big advantage. Here I put a little sort of diagram of how it actually worked. So this is what I saw on my screen. On the left is my Dropbox folder. The photos would pop up in automatically as soon as I took the picture, and I would literally just have to drag them across the screen to the email. I would get the customer to give me their email. I would put it in, and I would send it off. So the whole setup was very simple. Literally didn't even have to lift a finger, just had to drag my finger across the screen. So the setup worked very well. Payment methods. So I was able to acquire a Square reader, and that I think was a big advantage as well, because most people nowadays, a lot of them don't even carry their wallets on them. So if you're not accepting Tap, if you're not accepting Apple Pay, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So I had thought about that. I had gotten a Square reader, and we were able to accept all forms of payment, which I think was a huge asset and definitely helped in bringing some more revenue. Now, problem, what if the student was not dressed professionally? Well, the original idea we had was AI photo editing. So if the person had a hoodie on, let's say, you could take a picture of them, and it would AI change what they were wearing to be a suit, but keep the face looking the same, which was a great idea in theory. But when I actually tried playing around with some AI software to make that happen, it was very unreliable. as you see in the example picture there. The photos came out weird, and if someone's paying us for a service, I didn't want the photos to come out looking like that. So I just decided to scrap the AI idea altogether. And you know what they say, the best solutions are often the simplest ones. Keep it simple, stupid. So the solution we came up with was actually a group blazer. Owen went and purchased a blazer, and we had the option for students to try it on, no extra charge, much simpler, much less of a hassle, less variables to go wrong, and I think that was a solid solution. So on the actual market day, because we had the setup so streamlined, we were able to free up a lot of manpower. We only needed one person actually taking the photos and sending them off. So it allowed for a dedicated sales team. So I had everybody else go out and basically try and bring in as many customers as they could, annoy the crap out of people, you know, make sure everyone within a kilometer radius of the student center knew we were doing headshots. And I think it worked really well. The sales team was able to bring in some good sales, and it definitely drove a majority of our revenue was from the actual outbound sales team. We had some unexpected competition, as you're aware. Another group was doing the headshots as well, and they were priced the same. We were originally priced at $15. They were priced at $15. So we responded by dropping our price down to 10 and then later to 5. So some unexpected competition, but I think we were able to respond effectively by quickly pivoting and changing our price and giving us a little bit more of an edge. The other group was more professional, to be honest. They had a much better looking setup and a much more professional photography setup. They were using an actual camera, like a professional camera. They had a tripod, a backdrop, and everything. But I would give you this analogy. You know, you don't necessarily want to go to a fancy restaurant every single time you go out to eat. Sometimes you want to get something that's convenient and affordable. So maybe you don't always go for the more professional option. Maybe you don't always go to the keg. Maybe sometimes you want something quick and easy and convenient. You go to McDonald's. Well, guess what? The keg is worth 160 million. McDonald's is one of the most profitable companies in the world. They're worth 216 billion. So clearly there is a market for convenience, and I think that the results speak for themselves. We were able to generate $70 total revenue, and that was from about, I think, around 12 sales. We spent $60 on our setup, but then we returned all the stuff we used for the setup afterwards. So the tripod and the stands and everything we returned, got the $60 back, and that's 100% profit. So it's all green. It's all profit. I don't know what else I can say. I think the numbers speak for themselves. My final thoughts. Running a business is, I think, about constantly overcoming challenges. You can never prepare yourself for what's to come, and every single day there's going to be a new hurdle to jump over. When I had originally sat down with my group to brainstorm the idea, I had told them, listen, guys, I think we should just pick our charity of choice now because I've decided we're going to win this. And I set a very ambitious $10,000 goal for total revenue. Now we did $70, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think we learned a lot from the project. We were able to adapt on the spot. The sales team did a really good job bringing in revenue, and the system we had set up worked flawlessly. There was never really any issues with it. So overall, I think it was a great experience. It taught me a lot about the challenges entrepreneurs have to go through every single day, and it was a very enlightening experience. So I would just like to say, had a great time at the market, enjoyed the class a lot, and that concludes my presentation. See you later.